Okay, we're live. Hey everyone, welcome back to Black Tech Queens on Flags 365. My name's Karimah Campbell, and today I'm going to be interviewing an amazing tech queen. I just first of all want to start by just saying thank you. Thank you to you all for the love you've been showing us since our last video. I can't believe that it's almost a week since that happened. We've just been having constant engagement from you all. And if you don't know how to get to us at the moment, follow us on Instagram at Black Tech Queens. So in the last video, I spoke about who we are and shared our visions. I shared our vision of really inspiring people who are working in technology or those who want to break into technology. I spoke about helping each other to achieve our aspirations and also celebrating and recognizing our achievements. I shared my journey and shared a special announcement that will be interviewing women who are winning in technology. And I'm not just talking about the well-known ones, but some of the lesser known ones. But regardless, women who are doing amazing things. So we're really gonna celebrate them and just recognize everything that they're doing. So if you have missed that video or you want to see if there's any points that you really just wanted to go back and look at again, you can catch that video anytime on this channel. But obviously don't watch it until you finish watching this one because that would be rude. And make sure that you're sharing the channel with everybody that you know. So we're not just looking for tech queens. We also want people. We just want everybody because we just want to build a community. We need allies. We just need to grow this and become stronger together. And for those of you who watched the video last week, you would have just seen me fixing my AirPods again. Don't worry, I have ordered a mic, so the mic is coming. And so you'll see less fapping with the AirPods. So that is coming your way. All right. Once again, let's do this housekeeping. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this channel and our details with everyone that you know. We're live again today. So if you've got any comments or any questions, pop them in the box. Let me see who's with us today. Say hello, give us a shout. Let me know you're listening. And remember from last time, take this minute to share with 5 of your contacts, spread the word. Let's do this together. Okay, let me check. What's going on? Cool. Our guest today, she deserves a lot. She deserves your attention. So I need you guys to really show me you're listening. Come on, let's build this. Let's see who's out there with us right now. Cool. Okay. Let's give it another minute. Let's build this anticipation. All right. So now let me get ready. I'm gonna build this up right now. I first came across our last guest when I was reading this book Broken, that she had written with my cousin, Campbell. And it's all about their journey living with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and other chronic conditions. And I was blown away by her strength, her resilience, just her as a person. But then I got to a chapter called Careers, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, she had just done amazing things. She was the youngest woman with a Microsoft networking qualification. She was the first Black woman with a Cisco networking qualification. And I was just like, how didn't I know all of this already? So this is just the perfect first guest for the show. And she's a serial entrepreneur, she's a mother, she's a campaigner, she's an author. But I'm actually going to stop there because I know her story is best told from her. So everybody, grab your notepads. Let me get mine and your pen because she's going to be dropping some gems. And let me introduce our first guest, the first ever guest on this, Marcia Brooks.
Hey, Marcia. Hello. Hello.
Welcome
thank
to
you,
the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, honestly, thank you for joining us. As I mentioned, I read the book and I know you know the story. I messaged Cassandra and I was like, I need to speak to Marcia. How can I get in touch with her? I need her on my show.
When was the idea for the show?
I I started thinking about it over Christmas actually, so it's all been quite a quick turnaround.
Okay,
And then
that's good.
I
Action,
literally
I love it.
Yeah, I got to chapter 9 in your book, and I was like, this is perfect timing.
Now you need to finish the last 3 chapters, mate. Yeah.
Oh no, I finished it yesterday. It's fine. That's fine. I see you're getting some love in the comments as well. We've got pretty charming guys.
Hey, hey, Carl, I love you too. Is that Shah? Yeah. I have the most wonderful. Like, I don't normally like people who tell me they've stalked me, but I love her. I love her very much, and we actually have an office now together, so it went well.
Wow. But guys, this is just a note. Don't start stalking myself and Marcia. Like, that doesn't mean that all stalking stories is gonna be like we're not gonna have offices with you.
Yeah, because no, I've done all like court orders, non-moles for others. Oh my days, my phone is dying. Let me just put it in the charge.
Guys, and this is just showing you guys that we're live. So things happen, but we're gonna make sure that we're ready for this. Make sure everyone's ready to hit.
Yeah, because I have my daughter calling me, and I'm using my phone. I was hoping to use my iPad. It's not working. It just keeps on telling me error.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the Tech Queen community that can help you with that. So.
Yeah, I know. It's too funny. But yes.
All right, we're in. Oh, okay. Looks like I've got a stalker too. All right. All right, let's hide these comments now. No, that's my sister.
It's fine. No, we need to know. We need to know so we know what to look out for. That's what it is. You can't have them hidden. You need them out in plain sight, please.
Oh, very true. Very true. Okay, so for our watchers who don't know you, Marcia, tell us who's Marcia Brock.
Okay. Who's Marcia Brock? So my background is I've got 5 main companies. I started off in IT, what it was called back then, information technology. It got moved into the world of tech. I started off doing Microsoft. Then I moved into Cisco's years later. And while I was in those fields, I was one of the youngest Black female Microsoft engineers back when I was 19. I was 19. I'm 45 now. And then I went into Cisco networking, wireless networking, especially, and became professional in those accreditations. And what then happened is I found out I'm one of the first Black women to do the Cisco wireless qualification that we did. And I was trained by a woman, amazing woman, Jane Oldbridge. And she was a white woman in IT who brought in and taught real amazing skills. And what happened was I had worked with Cisco's, and I realized there was a bit of a gap in the market after a few years of doing projects, and tapped into my network and started a brand called Smart. And I had on my mind map over 60 things that I initially wanted Smart to tap into. And the rest is kind of history, because Smart's all over the world. There's numerous different things to do with Smart now. And it wasn't just designed for technology, it was just a better way to live. So yeah, we've got Smart Kids also, which is our charitable organization, which for the first time I've been able to step down a bit. It's been amazing. I had a message that I've screenshot and saved where my amazing Super Serena project manager, in the meetings message, she was like, "Oh, Marcia's attendance is optional."
You're like, optional? What? I hope you took that opportunity to relax and you didn't end up going anyway.
So I was like, oh my days. But yes, so I'm 45 now. I've been in IT since I was at 19. I started my first business at 9. So yeah, time to sit back a bit now and enjoy the seeds of my labor. And I'm a mother to 2 daughters. And as the book says, I've got 9 godchildren. No,
You're making me
9
tired.
got fun. Huh?
I feel tired just listening to you. No, this just goes back to what I said about your just like your resilience and your like you're just you're non-stop doing. I love it.
So yeah, and also I'm a 5-time cancer survivor. But also with the IT, I had 5 cancers over the last 20 years, and I suffer with a condition called lupus, which is an autoimmune disease, as well as I've got lots of projects and stuff and lots of businesses, so I've got lots of health conditions too. Balance. So I've also got a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS, and it's so rarely diagnosed that me and Miss Campbell's cousin wrote a book about it.
Here it is again, guys. We'll give you more details on it after. So did you always know that you wanted to get into IT?
No, not at all. I wanted to be an astronaut and a interior designer and architect. So yeah, that was my first kind of once as a child what I wanted to be. I looked at how long you're meant to be studying to be an architect, and I was like, oh, 7 years, and like that's the only kind of subject that you really needed what is it called, algebra for? I think so. Yeah. And I love math because I love money, but I found I could work with architects instead. Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
The astronaut thing, I'm still waiting to step on that and go fly away. It's coming. It's actually coming without having to actually still go. I know some people, so I don't have to wait for
Don't forget me. Don't forget to bring me with you, okay? I don't mind.
And the interior design, I changed it to doing more, obviously, IT. I was naturally gifted in. So, it was a story of I was temping and doing IT. And when I went to the temp agency, I fixed their computer, basically. And they were like, how did you do that? And I was like, oh, you just do this. And I left that agency and signed up, had like some clear signs that I needed to do IT. There was like courses being advertised suddenly in my universe. And so I done a Microsoft qualification. I sped through that. Instead of, I think it was like a 6-month course, I done it in 6 weeks. And that was on the back end of me learning that I had my first cancer scare. And I kind of just wanted to go back home to Jamaica. So my mum was living in Jamaica at the time. And I wanted to be on the veranda with her whilst I finished having my cancer treatment. And the course would I could just bang out the course. So yeah, I ended up teaching at every college I ever learned at because I learned it so fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously you were dealing with a lot with the cancer and everything. Like where did you find that strength?
The news of the cancer, I don't know, I kind of compartmentalized it, knowing that that's not what I have set goals. I really do write goals down and have mind maps, and it's normally here, but actually we took it down. I actually took it down if I put it upstairs. Mind maps and dying, like the doctor had said I'll die at 29. Dying at 29 was not on the goals list, so it wasn't going to be a reality. So that's how I did it. And my mum's got a lot of strength, you can overcome everything. My father's a Rasta, so he kind of made sure it's the same kind of mentality. And my stepdad, bless him, he didn't find out about my cancers until I was much older. And I knew, I hid a lot from my family in regards to the cancers, just because I didn't want to frighten them with the thoughts of me dying, because I saw its impact on one family member and just didn't want to, when I was young, let everybody else know that either. But now that I'm older, once I hit my 30s, I kind of started to share that journey too, and let people know that it's yeah, there's many forms of cancer and you can survive them. One of my cousins just finished their treatment for lung cancer and she's like, I'm amazed, I feel all right. It was rough, but she feels all right. Her hair didn't fall out. She used to dye her hair, now she don't dye it and it's all white. She's dyed blonde. It looks absolutely amazing. She's like, I love it, Mars. I was like, see, I told you, you'd be right.
Yeah, fantastic. I've always said when you just said about your cousin's white hair, I can't wait. Well, I can't wait until I go totally grey. Like my grandma used to be like a silver fox and I love it.
So I have never touched my greys. So I've got greys. I don't know if you can see some. Like people laugh and call them my designer greys. They're like, it looks stylish.
Yeah.
But I love my greys. I finally convinced my mum to stop dyeing her greys. She confirmed it yesterday. I called her when she's in Jamaica. She's like, I stop now. And I'm like, oh, brilliant, Mum, finally.
Oh, bless her.
But yeah, sorry, I'm off topic. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm always digressive, so it's fine. But yeah. So back to your technology work. So I mentioned a couple of your achievements, and I'm gonna pull you up.
About to walk in. 1 second, my dad's walking in. Your glasses, Dad.
Hi, Mr. Brooke.
Yeah, the hair, Dad. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pull you up on something that
have my dad stay with me.
Trust me, we need to see him. See you made it.
Now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, just going back to the point just before that. So I spoke about some of your achievements, and I'm gonna pull you up on something that you said, which we all do. And I know I said it to you the first time when I phoned you. You just said, "Oh, well, that was a long time ago. That's when I was 19." No, it's still an achievement. Still own it. Like that was you. And you're the one that told me to own things when I was like, oh, that was in 2018. It's 2021 now. I'm not going to bring it up. So take your own advice. Yes, and sip that water.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. So are there, and what's your most proudest achievement?
Do you know what? It's something weird that most people would think that it's associated to doing with business or that. My most proud achievement was being able for my oldest daughter to be able to pick her up from school her whole life, from school to college to raving. So she's 19 now, and that was for my side of one daughter, and my other daughter has never known a world without smart kids. And my youngest daughter can give an elevator pitch that blows my mind because she's lived it like it's her world. Yeah. So yeah, I've got one. Yeah, been able to be a really good mom to my children as much as I can, and yeah, that's probably one of my greatest achievements. And I've been able to like house my parents right now. So I had my mom here for a year. She was visiting from Jamaica and got stuck in lockdown. And now I've got my dad here for God knows how long, but I love it. Yeah, I've been able to do that. So those are some of my achievements. But yeah, there's other things in business, and I don't know. Cisco's is the element that makes the computers talk around the world, and wireless communication was my thing, and having these kind of conversations is something I was doing with my teams from early 2000s. So I'm like, finally, everybody's caught up. This is how we can communicate. Yeah. So I'm really happy that's actually worked well. Yeah.
Good. So you're not in, you don't work in computing anymore, do you? You're just focusing on your entrepreneurship, or are you pulling certain things from that through to your businesses?
Yeah, Smart World is a project management company, and it was originally called Trinity Collective. And we've had projects over the years to make sure that smart technology is still working well. We've got a lot of non-disclosures, and I enjoy being in the background for a lot of projects. And the ones you see me come to the front with, those are just the ones that I like to show. So yeah, I have like a lot of community projects that I put my face to and make sure I kind of sing about it and shout about it, and the rest of it, it's fine. It's working in the background, so yeah, it's working.
Yeah, keep those wheels ticking in the background. That's good. And what I really like is kind of linking to what your achievement that you mentioned. But I love the fact that you brought your kids in from early. Like, I think they're the youngest entrepreneurs I've ever heard of. Back when I was it 5 and 7, I was just, God knows what I was doing, but I wasn't running a business. So do you want to tell us about how you brought them in?
It's not even me brought them in. They had the ideas and I just helped them with it. So they kind of want to make sure they beat me. Like my oldest, when she found out I was 9, she was like, ha ha ha, I was 5. So her younger sister, she was still just 7. I'm still the youngest one.
Oh, bless.
But it came from what they said, what they wanted, what they needed. Like my youngest tapped into it. What was happening was, at the time, I'd separated from her father and he wasn't being consistent when he was saying he was coming. I'm not that type of mother that likes to see my child sitting at the window, waiting for the dad, and he doesn't come and you're looking with tears in your eyes to me. So after I think it was like the second time, I was like, this ain't going to be a third. Instead of letting her know her father was coming that day, we went on trips. So we just, okay, we'll give it a few more, half an hour. Okay, cool, he's not coming. We'll go on trips. And it kind of started from that need to make sure she was distracted from the hurt of daddy not turning up on time, or turning up and calling or texting and stuff like that. But it then became something that she would then tell the children in her class what a weekend was like, and either we'll do some kind of excursion or fun event with other children. And what was happening was my neighbours' children then wanted to come, the school children then wanted to come. Then like classes that she would attend would say, oh, could you refer some children, please? And it built on organically from that. And it took years for me to get a logo for it, or put up a website for it, because it was what we were doing with our children. And as it grew and grew, I've still got talks about doing it in the Caribbean, but it's happened in Asia. So the Smart Kids Asia is the big one. That's like the expos that was happening for the last how many years? God, yeah. Was it 15?
Hopefully we'll get back to in-person expos again soon. So let's keep.
Yeah, the expo's now on in. It's going to be a virtual expo that we're doing over here, and it's on the 20th of February. And we have it happening. It's happening. It's free for children to attend. Parents pay like a donation fee. It's like £1.67 or something like that on Eventbrite, or just tickets. And it's just to kind of make sure parents attend and confirm, because free events, people can just say, going. Yeah.
No, good.
But sorry, I'm going to get comfortable now.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So that was Smart Kid. What about what business does your other daughter? What business did your other daughter start?
Yeah. So that Nia, my beautiful princess, she done an amazing elevator pitch with me one day at my Ladies Who Latte networking group that I run, and she was always beside me. So she was 7. And she done an elevator pitch, and we finished the networking, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, she's so lovely, so sweet. And it's a normal conversation for her, so she was fine with it. And then we left there, and she put her plan, she done a mind map plan of how she wanted her company, what she wanted it to be called All Mums Rock, and what its purpose was. And she said she wanted mums to help other mums to make sure they all rock. So it's
that's so lovely.
it took me about 2 months to verbalize it out to anybody else other than her. And she got one of her cousins, where they went through it. They raided my office, got all of these files and their papers and their everything together. And yeah, she got her logo done with the designer who designed Smart Kids logo, and a few other logos for us as well. And yeah, it's still like where I said Smart Kids started 15 years ago, it's still building. So yeah, All Mums Rock is her baby. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, and I think that just shows like the Black Tech Queen community. If you've got an idea, just go for it, because I'm sure your daughters weren't sitting there like, oh, I need to make sure I've got this in place and this in place before I tell mummy. No, they told you. They used who they've got around them to help them get to where they wanted to get to. I love it. I really do love it.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the full birth of that. It's still her baby, and I respect how she wants to deal with it. So my oldest, I think my oldest turned 18, and I was like, oh, should I put Smart Kids down now? Should I kind of stop doing that? She's like, no, what do you mean? I was like, you're not that interested in engaging with it. But yes, she made sure, no, Mum, you can't put that one down. So
where so I'm guessing that they got their entrepreneurial spirit from you, but where did you get yours from? How did that start?
So I think it's because I'm Jamaican. I think so. Like my mum left England when I was 19 to go back to Jamaica. She came over here when she was 12 and had always let me know she's going back home. And being over there, you have to be entrepreneurial. Like there's no real choice. But to be honest, I think it's a part of me wanting to help. So I started like doing a fundraiser and getting a nun these specialized shoes when I was 9. And that, I think it's all my businesses are always trying to serve a purpose of help. So yeah, so the business like Smart Kids was making sure children could have fun. Children could have fun at the weekends, not be bored in the house or not just sitting on a tablet, even though I love them, but actually doing engaging things and learning from it. It just makes a smarter way to learn. So yeah, with nearly everything we did in Smart World that we do still now in Smart World is to fix a problem or to help someone. So I have a passion for helping. So I think that's probably why why I feel why you feel I'm entrepreneurial. I'm just doing some projects.
That's cool. And I think you answered Amatula's question about what was your business when you were 9. So was for the nuns? Was it shoes for the nuns?
So what happened was, so a nun needed some specialized shoes, and my uncle had a shoe shop, and he's passed away now, God bless him. My uncle had a shoe shop and made shoes, and he made her these specialized shoes. So that then expanded his his product line, and the business really grew. And because it was like for the church and then all the other nuns who obviously they don't really care about buying shoes and fashion, but yeah, she had really bad bunions, and she needed a specialized tailored shoe to her foot. So yeah, it tapped into that market. And I love shoes, and then my brother loves shoes, and my youngest brother's like a sneaker fiend. So yeah, the love of shoes came in from that as well.
Oh, perfect. Wow. I feel like I wasted I wasted my formative years. I should have been running businesses.
But it's always just the help. It's all of them. After that, I used to cut hair, and my hands would hurt after a while. I've realized now why. But the men who I would cut hair for didn't know how to get certain clothing, and I had a link in like East London in a market called Dagenham. I'd go down there and resell clothes and always doing some kind of little something. So it was building up from that. It weren't until I was like 29 when I realized, oh, it's a business I'm doing. So I was 29 when I kind of set up an official business. Before that, I worked in tech and got contracts.
Look, I'm writing that right down right now. I need to start actually labeling the projects that I'm doing, because yeah, I'm sure we're all doing something, and
Exactly.
just putting a label as like a side hustle on it, that's what can make you feel like, no, wait, maybe I'm not doing any kind of business for my own. So, yeah.
And why Smart World kind of took off was because I got sick yet again with I had brain cancer after I started Smart World, and I had secured like 25 contracts to do certain IT projects with organizations when I first started, and that grew to 50. Then that grew and grew and grew, and I couldn't physically do them. And I was subcontracting lots of different project managers, IT managers, people in tech to do those roles. So yeah. Until this day, Serena, my project, the main project, lead project manager, Serena Naughty Coombs, or I call her hashtag Super Serena. She's still the only person I've ever done like 3+ projects with, because yeah, she's good at doing multiple projects as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is.
We rebranded Smart World together because she said it suited the brand better with all of the smart projects. And we rebranded, I think it was 7 years ago, about 2013 or so, 7-8 years ago, where it used to be Trinity Collective. But yeah.
Oh, cool. So, wow. Since you've got all of these businesses, and all of these projects, and obviously you're getting them out there and everything, someone actually messaged on Instagram earlier and was saying they'd love to hear any of your social media tips. So how are you using social media to really promote yourself and branding, really?
Okay, so I'm not massive on promoting all what I do on social media for myself. I will focus on certain projects and certain reasons to post. So I'm not just aimlessly posting. Yeah, there's always some kind of reason behind it. You've got, with social media, for your own personal thing, if you're becoming a brand and stuff, just be authentic, be really real, give only what you want to speak about. And it's obviously it's your personal page, but your personal business never needs to be there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially if it's a public page, then that's a whole different story.
Yeah, if you've got private page, great, do what you want, I guess. But people can screen record, snapshot. Yeah. But on my own personal page, it has sometimes I do like a certain hashtag, or I do 44 days with Marcia, and I just go through a bit of a background and a story on how I got here, or why I'm like this. Or I realized recently I've done one in regards to my fear, how I realized I had certain fears and what I did to conquer them, finding the root cause and fixing the root cause and smashing those fears out. But if you've got a business page, you need a structured marketing plan. You need to really think about what you're doing with your hashtags. Making a unique hashtag is great too, because then people can click in and see your whole feed of what you've done or what you're doing and building up. Like I always, for things I want to be always seeing, I've hashtagged my name simply. And then like the Ladies Who Latte has their London Bridge Ladies Who Latte have their hashtag. It doesn't even have its own page, but if you go into Google and do it, hashtags bring every single image that I've ever posted up of it. Hashtags are extremely powerful, so I don't know if people utilize them enough, making your own unique one instead of just going with the millions that you can see out there. But yeah, I found doing our own unique hashtag really works. So and having a key plan, utilizing the things that's out there. These platforms are free, like use it like your own mini TV, because that's what it used to be to advertise back in the day. You had to think about what kind of 30 grand you're going to drop on an advert and hope that prime time people's watched it. Man, you can put it out there and share it to the world.
Anytime, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, so Donald, I hope that answered your question. Most importantly, be precise with what you're posting and like really target it and plan it. And yeah, I think there's a lot of information that a lot of tips that we can take from that. So thank you, definitely. So another question that I had for you was just about what's really with the with the smart world, smart kids, your IT experience and everything. Do you think there was any particular strengths that you needed to be able to get to where you were when doing those projects?
Yeah, most definitely. I had to utilize what I had. So being the first black woman in certain fields meant that there's no other black women in them fields. And with some of the contracts, I would come into like Cisco's, a meeting for Cisco's, what they needed in their systems, how they needed things implemented. And they would assume I'm taking notes for my manager. And I would play along. That's cool. That's fine. And my name is Marcia Patricia Brock, which actually, if you take the first initials, it's MP Brock. Utilize that.
Okay.
MP Brock's got the contract. Oh, hi, Marcy's coming in. Hi, cool. Then when it was quite male dominated, Marcia, if you cut off the I and the A when you're spelling it, becomes Mark.
Yeah.
Mark Brock got the contract at times, so I would just come in and help. Cool. All right. So yeah, back then it was an easy thing to do. It was quite a natural thing to do, just to make sure it win, or because I'd be subcontracting it as well. And once you get into once it was contract to contract, knowing that somebody else is going to be the delivery partner, yeah, you just got to make sure that that person knows what they're delivering and has a good way of giving you feedback and updates. So this is where utilizing online calls, because I don't want to have to come out to meet you because I'm about to do the school run. Yeah, I ain't got time for that. So yeah, I'll be doing meetings while driving, picking up school, and my like 10 till 3 o'clock working hours was set in stone.
Do you not feel that held you back in any way?
No, because if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. If we can't do it tomorrow, all right, then cool.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that. I get so many people who and I'm not just going to talk about starting a family, because I know a lot of like women channels talk about that as the main thing, and that is definitely a challenge for us. But there's so many people who are like, oh, I wish I could start a family, or I wish I could start a business, or even just have my evenings back to myself. But if I say I'm stopping at 5, is that going to mean that my career can't progress? And does that mean that I'm basically shooting myself in the foot?
Well, you can either, I see it this way. So you can either stop at 5, cook some nice food, eat dinner with your family, enjoy that time, or you can neglect cooking, you can neglect sitting with your family, and you can burn yourself out if it's for your business, okay, that's great. You're going to continue that process. Or if it's for a job, okay, tomorrow, thankfully we get to wake up tomorrow. So yeah, I think if as long as you're not missing a deadline, why stress out yourself? Like, I would sometimes put them to bed, or like I would bang out my day. I now go down to like 3 days when I went down to 3 days a week kind of working, I worked in those 3 hours. In those 3 days, dedicated to work. Sometimes I used to do 9 till 9. That's because I know I've cooked already. When they sit down, they're fine. Their dinner's all there. They get to have bath time. Just like I live by a diary, and it helps as a reminder, because I'm not going to remember everything. But when I talk to people, what time is it? I'll book it in the diary. My diary's on my phone.
Sorry, they're not coming from me.
Loud for you.
They're not coming from me, I promise, guys.
Yeah, live by my diary. I'm really, really strict. I have booked my when to drink water in my diary just to make sure when someone's going to be calling, what time we're getting back to them, when am I going to respond. Yeah, everything's set in the diary. The children know an alert pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
So it sounds like my phone's
diary
always going off. Yeah.
Do you have like a shared diary for the family, or is it just like, look, this is my diary, I've got what I've got in?
So all of our phones are linked.
Okay.
Yeah, so like my daughter's on the iPad, she'd be like, "Oh, drink water, mum." Or
Oh no, lovely. Let me just quickly take a break and just remind everyone we're live. So if you've got any questions for Marcia, drop them in the box. And we just want to keep this conversation going and just really try and like it's not that often that you'd get such an amazing woman sitting here live in your living room or wherever you're watching this. So use this opportunity to like really pull that information from her. Let me see what else we've got going on. Okay, we've got some more people. Joe with Jan said, "I'm here, Marcia." So
this is the amazing Jan. Yes, this is Cisco Jan. Jan has an organization that I know has come from her Cisco's mind because I've asked about the IT systems. So Jan, when Jan had an organization called HBC Academy, and that's where I got my Cisco's qualification from, with Jan teaching me. And then the story is, I started the class in September. I went back home to Jamaica in December. I read the whole of the first part of the Cisco's book. I worked in that field, so it wasn't unfamiliar. I just needed to get my qualification. And because my dad's quite strict, he's like, make sure you get your qualification. You can do it all blessed, but if it ain't on paper, it don't mean nothing. So I read the whole of the CCNA book, thick book, while I was on my mum's veranda in Jamaica, implement certain things. I actually have a book where I've written out my own kind of book version from my notes, which my daughters were really impressed with. I will utilize that properly. That is my core little Bible. And I came back and I was like, "Hi, Jan, yeah, I finished." And she can confirm that. She was like, I think they were on like finishing chapter 1 or 2, and it's like 32 chapters. So I think it was like by that February or so, I was helping her teach the class, and that's how I became a Cisco's teacher as well. I then started.
Crazy.
So I would read like a book a week before I'm doing the class, a 32-page type thing, read it, and I've got a photographic mind, so I could always tell them which page to go to or which subjects, if it was routing or binary or which switches they needed to do and things like that. So yeah, Jan is the lady, and they helped a lot in regards to setting up my business. So I worked it was a computing college and a Bible college. They helped set up my first official company, which was Trinity Collective. Yeah, / Smart Kids.
Thank you, Jan. Like that's what we need, like women like Jan who are really pulling the full potential out of people like you, because you never went there thinking I'm going to teach the class. But you had that.
I kind of knew in the background. I knew it would happen. Yeah, because that's what happened when every single Microsoft class I did, or any kind of tech class that I did, I always ended up teaching with the teacher. So I'm a very fast learner. I wasn't like sitting there wanting for that to happen. It organically always happened. So yeah.
Cool. Okay, let me see. Has anyone else got any questions for Marcia? As I mentioned, we really want to get all the information that we need from her, and hopefully
you have your list of questions. I can't see what's on my list. That's why I wanted to be on my iPad. I can't see the questions that you said you was going to ask.
1 second, let me grab them. Okay.
Because I can check.
That's the thing. Okay, one thing that we haven't covered was well, we kind of covered it, and I think this is a good transition from the conversation that we just had around Jan. Who were the people that you looked up to that inspired you across all aspects of your career?
Okay, career. So there wasn't like a key person. I never was like a young person who I was a fan of people. I respect what they do. Like, I didn't have posters in my room growing up or anything like that. I kind of got this song in my head where there's a song it's a song we're doing for smart kids. It's the Whitney Houston Greatest Love of All. And I had to be my own hero accidentally, but there's so many people around me that I've pulled key elements with, where they just filled me up with love and devotion. And like, I was always inspired by my mum. My mum retired when she was in her 40s. So she retired back in Jamaica. She was like, she ain't staying there for them to walk her to death. No chance. Like, that's not happening. So she made her money and she used it to have her house in Jamaica and enjoy it. So those kind of things inspire me. Like, for instance, Jan's called my office mummy. So from back in the day. And Jan, with what she's done with Genostar, she's been able to continue to help. That's like, they help people with ensuring that the end of life isn't a burden to somebody else. They help with insurance, I believe, and other things, but they give them amazing debt advice, because some people really do have a lot of debt. That was probably one of the key things I can remember her noticing about me. Like, I was really good with not having no debt. That is a major factor in learning how to manage your money. Is the smartest thing you could do for yourself. Yeah. So anybody who learns how to manage money, I'm inspired by. Yeah. Cool. Or helps people inspires me. There's no like major kind of celebrity person that I kind of looked up to. I love me some Anne-Marie Afamadon. I love her. She's another STEM queen. She runs the STEMex, so partners with her and help with mentoring on STEMex every now and then. She always surprises me when I get there and puts me on some kind of stage, or I'm helping someone.
Yeah. I saw you guys have a Smart Kids. You've got like the Smart Kids Day coming up, and STEMex are going to be doing a section there, aren't they?
I'm not sure. I will confirm. We have to confirm. We had a meeting today, and I have to speak to them to see, because STEMex are always pumping out something. So it might be even something we can tap into. And if not, we forward all children to that organisation. There's two main ones. There's another one called Academy Achievers, and they have a Be Me, #BeMe project happening right now as well. So we're about signposting to really great organizations to make sure all of our kids can be smart and have fun and be creative as much as possible, because they're the next generation at the end of the day, and they're going to solve the problems that we're in.
Absolutely. They're cleaning up our mess for us. So yeah, thank you. Thank you in advance, everyone who's coming in the future. I saw on your website that you met Jay-Z, which was, to me, like, yeah, I've got a thing for him right now.
I'll give that story about that's cute.
Yeah, go on.
So he's my cousin's friend. So yeah, he's my cousin's friend, and like, I used to be. When I met him, was I 19 or in my early 20s? This 19 was a really good number, but I was around either early 19 or early 20s. And her friend, Shawnee, we were going to support his show, and she was like she does artist management, and she makes sure you get your money. That's what she makes sure she does. And that's her role now. She's I don't know if I can say her role, but she's with them all now. I've been trying to phone her since yesterday.
Well, tell her I said to tell him. I said hi. Okay, it's fine.
I don't know how close we were working now, But yeah, that was her friend from back in the day. And I say that is an example of, you never know who's in your family circle, you never know who's in your friend circle, or who they may grow to be. So we were young when that was happening. I went on the tour with them as friends. I went and purchased his album. So I didn't ask him to give me one. We went to the mall, and I physically bought it. It was next to the Banana Republic store, and I can remember being shocked that they added the VAT tax onto the price. What? Because I bought up so much stuff. But I physically bought his album, the first album, and when we was on his tour, yeah, he's just a real cool gentleman. I can remember they were all fascinated by my accent back then, and I can remember saying my tip always was everything that is going to be seen on you and around you is branded. So if you don't make money off that, what's the point? So yeah.
It's so funny. I'm listening to a podcast at the moment called Even the Rich, and I'm on the Jay-Z and Beyonce episode, and it was just talking about how about him branding everything around him, and I think it was about him actually he used to drink a lot of Cristal and promote it, and then the owner of Cristal was like, I don't want you black people drinking it. So then he bought Ace of Spades, and then he decided, okay, if I'm going to be promoting something, I'm going to get the money off of that.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
No, absolutely. I also saw on your website that you met Bill Gates. What happened there?
Yes. So where I became the youngest black female youngest Microsoft engineer when I was younger, it was about 2 years later they gave some kind of certification and award, and that's why I went to America. So yeah, it was there. He done a lot of like tech nerd jokes that I laughed hysterically at, and I can remember the people in the room with me was like, okay. And it was like 20 odd years ago. Who knew what he was going to be doing? And I had an idea, because I know he said he wanted to have computers on every desk in every space in the world. So yeah, it was like 10 years later that my friends were like, oh my God, like you did that. When I told them 10 years before, they just like, oh yeah, cool. When we going raving, what party we going? Nobody.
Yeah. No, good. Yeah, as you said, you never know who you know. When you meet them, they may just be, as I mentioned last week, the person just sitting next to you at your desk. Next thing you know, it's Bill Gates. So
yeah, exactly. And there's also like a children's event that I did. I was one of the teachers, and I had these the youngest three students, 4 young boys, and their mother runs an organization teaching children at the weekend, and they invited me to their like annual event, and it was Tony Robbins who was at the event, who I was sitting next to. Complete accident. Like his voice alone, I had listened to him on my books, so I was like in awe. Like Tony Robbins is sitting there. But yeah, everybody, and all these people are still just people. Like when you sit down with them, they're still just people. So yeah, that's the key points to remember.
That's what I was saying last week when we first spoke about what we're trying to do with Black Tech Queens. Like, it's so often that we'll say, oh, I don't want to share my story because I'm just an ordinary person. There's nothing special about me. But I'm sure they felt the same way as well, because they are just them. They still have their family. They've got their friends. To their family and friends, they're just Bill or Tony. They're nothing or Sean. They're no one like, oh my God, I've got to put my suit on now because Bill's coming home. Like,
I think what I think people don't often realize is that their natural gifts are gifted to them, and because you're really good at something doesn't mean that everybody else is. And that's kind of what I really tapped into when I was younger. So I realized, because I had the photographic memory, because I could read a Cisco's book like it was nothing and do implementations, when it came for me to build the brand Smart, I had tagged it to like 60 different things: smart mom, smart car, smart house, smart, oh, I can't even remember the list, it's upstairs. And recently, because I say the power in writing things down physically, not tapping it on a keyboard, but pen and paper, physically writing them things down, you help to manifest or speak it into existence. You don't have to speak about it all the time, but set a plan for your life, because that's what was the benefiting factor on everything that's ever come from doing a smart brand and doing smart technology and having so many things that are smart now. Like, I had a plan for it, and no matter what illness, family, dramas, because when you start a business, your family don't always support, not in a horrible way, because when they do support, oh my God, they do. They really love you and will do anything for you. And I have cousins who are just my ride or dies. Like, yeah, definitely, yeah. And I planned lots of things in my life. Lots of other things distracted and came in, but I always just knew to get back on a plan. And my biggest thing was, like, when I had brain cancer, I lost most of my memory at a certain point. And I couldn't really remember my name, but I remembered I had a daughter. I only had one daughter at the time. And when I went back home, I can remember seeing my plans, and it helped to trigger the rest of the brain cells to remember, that's me, that's what I've wanted to do, that's what my missions are, or what contracts I've got outstanding, because at the time I had like 25 contracts with people.
No, wow. That's the killer gem for me right there. Just really writing it down. So thank you. I know, right? On that note, like, you have to say, okay, I might as well not go any further. No. One thing I am asking all of the guests is there anything specific, like any specific advice that you'd give to either women who are already in technology, who are trying to really further their career, or women who want to break into technology?
I think listen to your instincts on things. Learn to ask for 3 times more than you think you really want in your role. And value everything. If something doesn't sit with your core, don't devalue yourself and do it. So everything that I've worked on has been heartfelt. It's always come from a heart-centered place. It always has to have some form of impact. I hate doing useless. Time is not given to everybody, so don't waste mine. So I'm really strong on not wasting time on things that you know are not gonna be what you want in the outcome. And write like a 30-year plan and start working backwards. So yeah. And my tip is, like, I always say, like, I think I actually wrote it down now. I said I made a video about years ago, and I was like, set your goals, then realistically double it. What does it look like doubled? Really write it out. What does that look like? Then triple that. What does that look like? And then if you get halfway there, you still made it more than you first thought.
I love that.
But what happens if you actually achieve it? Like, I tripled my goals, or as there's some people say, you 10x it type of thing. And I'm still on the path and the journey. Like, yeah. But in regards to IT, do things that you naturally are gifted at. There's something special about IT and STEM and technology. You have to love it. So a clear example is Anne-Marie Famadon. She loves doing the STEMets. There's an energy in the room that you can feel. If people hate their role, you feel that too. Yeah. So yeah, those are like, I normally it's like working with a manager who's negative can just breed that through. So work in places that are heart-centered. If they ain't, make them heart-centered. And yeah, make sure your environment, your passion, your needs are being met. If it is a temporary stopgap, if it's not all what you want it to be, just know you've got your stepping stones. Like there's numerous roles that I've worked in hospitals, I've worked in banks, I've worked in courts, I've worked in big, like Silicon Valley stuff. But there was always a core reason that fitted with a goal that I had. I weren't just doing it to do it.
Cool. Wow. Thank you, Marcia. That's perfect. All right. So I know we're hitting on time. So if I know you're gonna have even more followers and we're gonna have even more stalkers after this. I think I saw a post earlier about.
Also, I'm a black belt kickboxer, so I kind of don't worry about that. So
do you know, I used to do MMA as well. So like, we'll just take them out with this. I'll come with my cage fighting. You come with your kickboxing. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, black belt kickboxer, enjoy kicking, and not a problem. But also before we go, what was I gonna say?
Yeah.
I think people have this illusion that I work all these hours God send, and for years, like I had to sit back with Smart World and Smart Kid, and it still grew. It's just realistically working smarter and suiting what suits your lifestyle. If you're not healthy because of the way you're working, if you're always tired, or if you find you're always moaning, stop the moaning and change it. Like, realize, like, I tried to go doing 2 days a week and helping on the projects. 2 days a week spilled out to like I was fitting things in 5 days a week and stuff. So I just went back to 3. And that works smarter for me. I really would want to do 2, but it doesn't work for me. So, yeah.
So, where can our guests and our followers and everybody find out more about you and keep up to date with like your next 10 projects that you'll be doing, no doubt, by next week?
So we've got the book coming out. We've got the audio book coming out. We've got the expo happening. What else is in March? Each month there's some kind of event. I think All Girls Rock happens in March. It will be online. Another project for International Women's Day. April is what? I can't remember what's coming out in April right now. May is EDS awareness. So me and Cassandra, in regards to our book, will be pushing more information and awareness in regards to that. And everything can be found from my name. My Marcia Brock is the same. Marcia_Brock is the same on all platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, especially. LinkedIn is a place to find me. I don't do TikToks or Snapchat.
Oh, so we can't get your dances and everything, no?
Nah, like the thing is, I dance, but my dance is very seductive, and I would have way more stalkers if I was to do that.
Oh, good. You're just teasing them now. Stop it. All right, good. You might, if you follow Marcia, you might get a sneak peek, but probably not. But no, seriously, Marcia, thank you so much for everything today. This has just been, I think you were the perfect first guest, so thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Guys, remember, because you utilised your network.
There you go.
Cassandra's your cousin, so she hooked you up.
And you just talked about network. Let's build this network even more. So remember to share this video and share this page, subscribe, make sure that you are following us on Instagram at Black Tech Queens. And just most importantly, together we'll just make sure that we keep on inspiring each other, achieving our aspirations and celebrating our achievements. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Marcia. And I can't wait to see you guys again.
Thank you.